know then, we've got with us Unicorn e-commerce roll-up platform, that's Global Bees. It's a subsidiary of SoftBank-backed retailer FirstCry, and the company has just recently started a new line of business under which it's going to get licenses from top foreign brands across the consumer durables as well as appliances segment, exclusive rights to sell them in the country. Joining in right now to talk about the business, the growth plans, as well as this news is Nitin Agarwal. He's the CEO of Global Bees Brands. Thank you so much, Nitin, for taking time out and joining in. Let's just start off by understanding the basics of the business, because Global Bees, I understand, it's an investment platform. It's modeled on the popular Thrasio, which acquires sellers and provides them with resources in order to scale their brand. Tell us how the idea first came about, and I understand as well that it was met by a lot of skepticism at the beginning.
Yeah, so a little bit more nuanced, and I've said that in the past. Global Bees is not just an investment platform, but essentially the opportunity that we're going after is as the new digital first channels and offline way of retail is changing. You need a new kind of infrastructure, technology platform, marketing strategies for the brand to expand. And Global Bees not only brings capital, but brings that infrastructure, whether it is in terms of warehousing or technology or marketing expertise or a new product development expertise, and helps the brands, to accelerate their journey towards growth and reach larger and larger consumers. So that has done pretty well for us. We operate more than 50 brands now. And the platform has really scaled up well. So it's just a little more nuanced than just saying go up for investment. I think the efforts that we've put in to build up the entire end-to-end infrastructure is really giving us good results now.
Okay, fair enough. Initially, it started off, and just understand the business a little bit more. Acquiring digitally, acquires and partners with digitally native brands. This is across categories, right? So from beauty to healthcare, personal care, etc. Food, nutrition, as well as some of the categories that you'll look at?
Yeah, absolutely. But our large focus continues to be, so if you look at India still continues to about 70% unbranded. So our large focus to be more focused on the unbranded categories, and as the branded consumption improves, create significant brands into that. And that continues to be our focus. So our largest focus continues to be around home, general merchandise, newer appliances, smarter appliances, but essentially look at the gap areas in the industry and focus onto those segments.
Walk us through currently, the licensing rights in India, that some of the brands that you currently have, which are they?
Yeah, so, this is a recent initiative. Essentially, as we build our seller ecosystem and ability to establish and grow the brand on multiple platforms, we thought this was a good opportunity to look at a lot of international brands who are not present in India, typically do a remote business. How do they make entry to the business? So, historically, they've come up with partners with platforms themselves. But we as an independent platform are able to work online and offline, and are able to establish and give that choice to the consumers. So that's what we've done. There are about 10 brands in the space we've partnered. We've been focused on appliances segment. We've just signed up, agreement with the largest retailer in Australia in home segment, came up, and their brand Anko, to establish them in the country. But apart from that, there are brands from Korea, US, and Japan that we have recently tied up and are establishing their presence in the country.
Okay, now let's talk about the latest news as well. The fact that now you've got licenses to sell a lot of these foreign brands across the consumer durables appliances space in India. This is going to be both online as well as offline. Can you just give us details of these offline stores and how exactly it's going to work?
Yeah, so again, look, our offline strategy depends on the brands that we bring in, and various brands follow different strategies. Specifically coming to appliances segment, we've been distributing these brands through the traditional modern trade stores like the Promos of the world. We've also established our specific dealership networks to distribute, but interestingly, we are creating a retail destination and a retail storefront. We've opened our first 3 stores, which is basically bringing all our licensed premium appliances under one umbrella.
How many warehouses do you currently have? How are you looking to leverage infrastructure to really bring a lot of these global brands to the country via these licensing deals?
Yeah, so look, today we have established our warehouse network in the top 20 states. We operate about 22 odd warehouses in the country. And these are certified and licensed and professionally operated warehouse. And these warehouses are an essential part of our supply chain when we look at fulfilling our online orders, offline orders, online orders. So these become essential part of our infrastructure, and that's part of our strategy to build the supply chain network to be able to service these brands. Both catering to online and offline needs.
All right, let's talk financial metrics as well, because I understand that there is a plan with respect to your overall numbers that you aim to touch $1 billion in revenues by 2026. Are you on track? And what is the game plan to turn profitable?
Yeah, so look, from the revenue standpoint, things look on track. The 3 years still some time to go, but we are well within our targets and reach if we talk about the current, run rate, and it looks like that plan is achievable, and we definitely do that. Coming to the second question around profitability, well, we've been close to, break even, plus minus 1% here and there for some time now. And this is also given that we made significant investment in the past 12, 18 months to build this infrastructure. So I don't see profitability to be a challenge as we go along. Yeah, so I think we're pretty good on track both on top line and bottom line as we're looking to expand our sales both online.
Okay, fair enough. So just let's understand what your total revenue has been for the year gone by, what kind of a revenue run rate you're enjoying, what has your total expenditure as well been like, and what's the outlook?
Well, I would not be at liberty to share the financial numbers. They have to come out of audit report, especially given, parent FirstCry, so it's fairly well controlled. But, some anecdotally numbers, if I were to talk about, currently we are shipping out almost 70,000 to 100,000 orders per day. That's what we're doing. Yeah, beyond that, I would not be at a liberty to share numbers until they become public.
All right, fair enough. And I won't probe, but I also want to understand from you better how you're looking at the D2C revolution, if you will, that India is on the cusp of currently, because it's an estimated market size of close to $200 billion in the next 5 years. And there's been a lot of promise from Indian brands as well. How are you looking at the Indian market, really leveraging that, growing these digitally native brands in the country and giving them an opportunity?
Yeah, see, look, digital continues to be a big opportunity in India, given the breadth of the India and the population which is there in every nook and corner. The good part about India and very differentiated from the world is we don't have just a singular platform, but we have multiple platforms catering to multiple customer segments, multiple categories. And while that is good for the consumer in terms of choices and what every company will do, it also becomes challenging and hard for the brands to operate on this platform. And that's really the problem that we are solving, and we've solved to quite an extent for our brands. And we believe that that will continue to, help us reach consumers faster, better, more profitably.
Okay. What are the plans down the line as well to build new brands from scratch in-house, particularly for the unorganized categories?
Yeah, we've already launched about three odd brands in terms of organic segment. Again, our strategy is very simple. We look at top down in terms of the market opportunities. In top down, those opportunities, we look at, are there existing players that we can partner with? Is there a meeting of minds? Is there something that we like? And in case, we don't find that and we still find the opportunity is compelling enough, we don't shy away from building that organic brands. So we've started to build about three odd brands in different segments like, auto, gaming, and some of the other categories, where these are high growth categories, very little supply, very broken supply chain. And we'll continue to look at top down in terms of categories and see where there are opportunities to build one, and we'll continue to do that.
Okay, you've got a bunch of marquee investors as well that are backing the company. Can you walk us through some of your investors, how much you've raised so far, and what the current valuation stands at?
Well, that was all last year. That's when we raised the last round, and it's a public news in terms of all the investors from FirstCry being the anchor investor to SoftBank, StateView, Chirate, Premji, Chimera Capital, Lightspeed. I hope I've named all. We've been honored to have support of so many marquee investors, and they continue to support the growth and the vision of the company. Pretty happy with that.
I understand you're looking to invest in 100 brands across verticals, in particular in FMCG, sports, home organization. Can you walk us through all of those details?
Well, I don't know where that 100 number came from. I'm sure it was quoted somewhere. But essentially, we don't count the number of brands we would like to invest. Our thesis, as I said, goes top down in terms of what are the categories that we look at and what are the opportunities we see. And based on that, it's a call that we take from deal to deal in terms of where we would want to invest. So really, there's no kind of a target in terms of 100 brands to invest. I think our targets goes from what is the category coverage, what is the top line, what's the bottom line we want to drive, and as we look at partners and if there's a meeting of mind, we look at deal by deal. So yeah, no race to number of deals really.
Any book or any podcast that you've recently read that really stood out or that you'd, go back to or lean on?
Unfortunately, no. Very little time to read in terms of podcast or books. But continue to be inspired by Satya Nadella in terms of what he does and what he's done with a company like Microsoft. And continue to be inspired by that and try to see what we can learn from that.
You have a mentor who you go to with, a lot of your own personal issues? Work-wise?
From GlobalBee's perspective, I would say our board has been our biggest mentor. The time and investment that they've made has been quite unusual for a company, especially at our stage. And I would say each of our board members has been a huge support as we've built the company. And a lot of mentors right at the board level, and that's where we go to. And it's an amazing feeling to have a board like that.
Do you have any sort of a productivity hack, anything that you do that keeps you a lot more productive, motivated, inspired?
Yeah, this is simple stuff I've been doing for 20 years. That come into office 1 hour before everybody, get your work done. And that's your most productive time, and then give rest of the time to the people. And I think that's one simple thing I've followed for almost 15-20 years, and that continues to work. So no big ticket secrets. I think just how you allocate your time between various functions in your own job. I think that's the best you can do to have best productivity.
What's the advice then for next gen entrepreneurs?
Focus on customers. I think what we continue to see, people talking about a lot, but we continue to see people not as focused on customer first, but other parts of the problem. If you just try to focus on a customer problem and real problem beyond your own experiences, talking more and more to the customer, and solve the customer problem one by one, and rest will follow. That is what I would say every entrepreneur should just focus on. Take the noise away, just listen to your customer and solve one problem.
All right, on that note, then we'll let you go on that note. Appreciate you joining in, Nitin, and really walking us through the business, how things are shaping up, and some of your secret productivity hacks.
Thank you.